you have to consider the price you pay for inaction. People presume that inaction has no cost. You don't get to not make a choice. Not making a choice is still making a choice. Every minute that goes by that this decision is undone is a choice.
Absolutely everything that has happened to you in your life has happened for a reason. You can see that everything is a dot on the map that has led you to this exact moment. It has given you a person or an experience or a lesson or a skill or a bit of wisdom that is now part of who you are. And what I want you to know is that standing here in this moment, you are standing on another dot. And this dot is part of the map that is leading you to where you're meant to go.
I'm talking about making a promise to yourself. So if you say, I'm gonna go work out at this time, keep that promise. I'm gonna eat this kind of food, keep that promise. I'm gonna eliminate social media, keep that promise. I'm gonna eliminate these negative people, keep that promise. And when you start making promises, small, tiny promises that seem insignificant right now, but over time stack up and build massive confidence, that's what you're doing. Because your confidence is really your reputation with yourself.
What's most real might be what's there when the times are hardest. That's a different concept than, the material is what's real. It's like, no, what's real is what sustains you through the worst catastrophe.
We just put things off over and over and over again. Why? Because we haven't accepted it. We don't feel deserving. We don't feel that we're good enough. So we sabotage ourselves by not ever taking care of business. We get real busy doing a lot of things where we don't have any time.
Because there's people in the world that have skills and strength and talent that I will never have. All have limitations. Does that mean that I quit? Of course not. I'm gonna try to be the best that I can be. The strongest, the fastest, the smartest. That's what I'm gonna go for. It is possible. How close can I get to that greatness?
Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline and consistency.
The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
Discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire. But discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself. And it's why discipline is so much more valuable.
Must be something deeper than what money is. Something bigger than what's on the face of a dollar. The one thing that is bigger is the face that you see in the mirror. Something inside of the soul that only you and God can see that says, there's deeper meaning to life than the job. There's more to you than the dollar amount. You got to get into your calling. You got to get into the thing that you were chosen to do. And the only way you do that is you got to get off the bench.
When people don't have a sense of their purpose, that's an indication of disconnection. But you weren't connected to you. You had been disconnected from yourself, so you don't even feel the capacity to dream again.
And so when you are confident, you will experience temporary defeat. When you are insecure and you lack confidence, you will interpret temporary defeat as failure, and you will give up. And that is how people become average. That is how people stay average. And that is how years will go by, and you will see that person and go, man, They had so much potential, but for some reason failed to launch in life. And it is because they accepted doubt and they eroded confidence.
No matter what's going on in your life is not permanent. Everything is going to change. So there's two things you can do with change. You can react to it or you can participate in it. It's going to change anyway.
Every day you have to plan. Every day. Hard work works.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people. I don't know why. Life is not fair. And that is the reality. So, what do? Are you going to get angry? Frustrated? Are you going to lash out at people? Who are you going to lash out at? Are you going to start going down the spiral of negativity? Are you going to let the horrible situation dictate the way you feel and the way you handle it? Or are you going to lead? Are you going to face this issue with courage and resolution? I say lead. Lead. Step up. Be the one who people look to. Absorb the impact and the negativity. Draw fire.
There's more to you than a person that can pay bills. There's someone there that can turn the world around. You can be the difference maker. You can set an atmosphere. You're an entire vibe all by yourself. But the only way that you become that vibe, the only way that you become that difference maker, is that you get out of the dead ends. One road you make, the others are for those that trail after you.
If you wake up in the morning, you start having negative thoughts, man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. In the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop, just stop for a second. And start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want, everything you already have. Because what you have is substantial. You just haven't gone over the list and taken inventory in a long time. But the fact that you can walk, that's a blessing. The fact that you woke up, that's another blessing. The fact that you can see, think, reason, that's another blessing. I could give you 50 things you ought to be grateful for right now. I don't even know you. Start coating your mind with gratitude. It'll change everything for you.
There is no one stepping in, coming down the aisle to play that for you. No one can make the decisions for you as a shot caller, as a leader, but you. You have to be confident. But you can't be confident if you haven't put in the work. Confidence comes from the fact that you've gone through so many scenarios by yourself so that when it's asked to be done in public, you can be confident because it's not part of your preparation. You are already the prepared.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change and you gotta live with. The choice that we have though is either to give up or keep on going. I wanna ask you, what are you gonna believe? Are you gonna believe in yourself? Are you gonna believe everybody else's judgment on you? Are you gonna believe people when they say that you're a failure? No one really likes you, no one really cares about you. Situations that happen that was out of their control, and when you think about when things happen, the first thing we try to do as individuals, how can I control it and how can I manage it? And if I can't control it and manage it, now I'm frustrated and I'm mad about it. In the words of an older gentleman, he told me one day, he said, young man, you can't speed up the river and you can't slow it down. At a certain point, you gotta have some faith.
You see, all of us want that person in the huddle. Everybody wants that person on their team that believes, that person that says, we're not done, not now. We're not quitting, not now. We're not losing, not now. Why? Because I was born for now. I was born for this moment, and I was born to be beside you. The only question I have, and the only question you should have, is who is going with me?
Maybe you here because you need to hear this. Maybe you here because you need to dust off your dream. Maybe you need to explore your imagination. Maybe you just need to identify your gift so you can quit tripping in your own life, trying to figure out what you can do when God already planted inside you a long time ago.
You will see that in the very act of standing up, in the very act of fighting on, you will become and you will remain unbroken.
When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person that walked into it. That's what the storm is all about. When you can't control what's happening to you, control how you respond to it. That's where your power is.
So you have this big dream, you can see it so clearly, like it's right in front of you, you can go out and touch it. But the thing about it is somewhere, if you dream big enough, somewhere down that journey, that dream becomes a nightmare. And what happens in that nightmare, so you have all these questions like, why am I here? I'm not good enough. Trust me, I know all about the questions. They will flood your mind. If you do not have the answers for them, you will quit. The answers lie in the repetitions. You must not forget the repetitions you put into trying to dominate the craft that you're in today. Always, always embrace the suck, adapt to the suck.
But I tell you, there are some times in life where you fall down and you feel like you don't have the strength to get back up. Pretend that everything's okay when it's not, and you go home and lay in your bed when no one's looking at you, when you don't have to impress anybody, and you're yourself. And fear comes in. Maybe you have doubt in your life. Maybe you don't know for sure what's going to be happening in the future and it scares you. Maybe you're worried about what people think of you, what people say about you. Just that fear paralyzes you. And I just want to ask you today, do you think you have hope?
No, everybody want it. You ask the question, what do you want? Man, I want to be down to tell me something I don't know. Everybody wants it. But the raw reality of it is, everybody don't get it. And the crazy thing is, if you want it, you can get it. It's not like somebody is stopping you or holding a gun to your head and telling you you can't get it. It's a matter of will, it's a matter of hard work, it's a matter of sacrifice, it's a matter of dedication, it's a matter of commitment.
My number one competition is me. It's always you versus you. You gotta be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work. You versus you.
Nietzsche said, "I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible." The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
When you're going through something, accept it, embrace it, because going through something turns you into something. No matter how hard things get, no matter how difficult things become, whatever you face must also face you. Never give up.
A person's character is not judged when they ride the wave of success, when everyone chants their name and you want to be their friend. No, your character is put to the test when your back is against the wall.
It is never finished. You always have more to do. Another mission, another task, another goal. And the enemy is always watching, waiting, looking for that moment of weakness. Looking for you to exhale and close your eyes, even just for a moment.
And you go through failure alone, but failure has made me who I am today. Failure gives you two choices: you stay down or you get up.
See, it takes a great deal of strong courage and commitment on your part to step out a line. You know, Henry David Thoreau says, if a man doesn't keep pace with his companions, perhaps he's listening to the beat of a different drummer. Let him dance to the music that he hears, however measured or far apart. When you are committed, you're dancing to the beat of a different drummer. Don't expect people to understand you.
Don't have time. That's a lie. You're too busy. Sure you are. That's a lot. The excuses are not valid. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill. You have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done. Cast out the lies. Burn them down. And listen to the truth.
In the race of life, life's not going to give you a glass of water when you're thirsty.
Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. But if we don't physically make a decision how we're going to live, then we'll show up like everybody else, because the human mind is not going to make you happy. This brain of yours won't do it. You have to direct it. And there's no worse fate than to achieve everything and not be fulfilled.
The majority says if you go through heartbreak, if you're on your knees because your life is falling apart, rush out as quickly as possible. What I've discovered is stay in as long as possible, because difficulty is growth in wolf's clothing.
Is that people aren't after happiness, they're after not hurting. It's not so they don't want to be extroverted and enthusiastic and full of smiles and laughter. That isn't what they mean by I want to be happy. What they mean is I don't want to be anxious or in pain.
What you say to yourself matters. And we understand that from a common sense perspective. But somewhere along the line, we have all stopped saying, you're gonna make it, you got this. And when you start your day by saying, I look terrible, that's not gonna motivate you to change it. And so your sense of feeling like the effort is worth it begins and ends with how encouraging, supportive, and kind you are to yourself.
You complain about your job. You complain about where you are financially. You complain about your relationship. You complain about your opportunities. You complaining. Listen to me. You murmuring and complaining. You complaining and complaining and complaining. Shut up!
Stop complaining and do me a favor. If you want to make a difference, all you got to do is one thing. This is how you get started. You want something different? Listen to me. All you got to do is make a decision. That's it. And for those of you who've been making the wrong decision, all you got to do is make the right decision. But if you want to make a difference, make a decision. Are you hearing what I'm telling you?
Confidence comes from this, because the disease of lack of confidence is you're obsessed with everybody else thinks about you. What are they going to think? What are they going to think? What are they going to think? That's the symptom. The disease is you're worried about your reputation with everybody else because you don't have a good one with you. If your reputation with self is exemplary, you're not concerned about your reputation with others. So self-confidence comes from one simple thing. It comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. That's it. If you begin to consistently keep the promises you make to you, you will begin to stack upon that self-confidence.
There's things that you know you're supposed to do as a human being. Things that you know are going to improve your life. Do those things.
We can control what we feel. We can control what we do. We can control what we focus on. When we take control of that, we're able to take control of the inner world. There's only two worlds you can master. The external world, that's how you achieve things. That's how you convert your dreams into reality. How do I take what I dream about and manifest it in the real world? Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, whatever. They're real great masters of the external world, but inside, they're a disaster.
How you do anything is how you do everything. This ain't saying, oh man, I gotta do this the way I do that. That's little boy talk. We talking mentality, we talking spirit, we talking disposition. We talking about how we show up and how we work for what we say we want without letting situations, circumstances, and people dictate what we bring into an environment every single day.
Your eyes are the window to your soul of belief, inspiration, the willpower. And just like when you put something in your mouth and you chew it, it can either enhance the physique of yourself or be the demise depending on what you're eating. The same goes true with what you see. There's a visual diet out there that's good and bad. There's negative energy if you look at and you focus on, you allow that to come in, there'd be a demise of your willpower. The demise of your self-confidence, what you can be and what you believe in. You focus on negative so much, you start to believe that negative exists in you. That's a negative, unhealthy diet.
Failure is not an option. You can't even let it sink into your brain, into not even a second. You have to know that this thing is going to work. Come hell or high water, whatever it is that I set out to do, it may not happen in 6 months, it may not happen in a year, it may not happen in 2 years, but at some point, my dream is going to become a reality.
I don't care how good you are in anything, you don't have discipline, you ain't nobody. And nothing without discipline. Because you give up on the slightest struggle without discipline. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
And just because we're going through a hard time, we have a setback, that's not a part of the journey. I'm gonna tell you right now, God will allow things to happen in your life to grow different things in your life. So a lot of us, we going through a time right now in our life, we're like, man, God don't love me, man. Life ain't fair, man. Everybody else getting blessed, and everybody else having the right things in their life, and everybody else is going through everything. They're happy, they joy. And I'm in this moment. Let me tell you something. When you look back on your path, it's the moments that were difficult that built your strongest faith.
When the alarm sounds, it's time. Rise. Despite fatigue and soreness, curse the warmth of the bed. Curse the comfort of the pillow. Fight the temptation of weakness. Get up and go.
You go after and you give it all you have. If you lose, at least you try, man. I failed. It's 10 times more of a man than someone said, what if? Because what if never went to the arena. When you guys find a fear, that fear will either create you or destroy you.
This is yours. You're the captain, you're the master, you're the foreman, you're the general, you're the head. Don't give control of this to nobody.
everything is going wrong, right? It seems as if the wall's falling down. It seems as if, man, don't nothing work. Oftentimes, there was decisions and choices made far prior to that moment that's contributing to that moment, seeming as if the walls are falling down. And so when you look at shortcuts in different areas and aspects of life, I always think to the point of, like, man, you know that's an illusion, right? You know it's an illusion. You know sooner than later you're gonna end up in a dead end. You know sooner than later you're gonna get to a point in space and place in your life to where when it doesn't work, it's gonna be hard to turn that finger back. Like when you point and you blame them, it's gonna be hard to turn that thing back and say, nah, this me.
It was the hardest times that built your strongest strength. It was the hardest times that built the endurance in your life. It was the hardest times that built your belief. So you might be in a season right now where the world is trying to lie to you. The world is trying to tell you that your life is over. The world is trying to tell you that you ain't special. The world is trying to tell you that you ain't got no worth, that you ain't got no value. The world is trying to tell you that better days aren't ahead for your life. The world is trying to tell you that nobody else will love you, care about you. The world will tell you that your dreams are over. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot easier to believe those things when you look at your circumstances. But I tell you all the time, and I want to tell you right now, you can't trust your circumstances. You gotta trust your faith.
I love fear. The reason why? Behind every fear is a person you want to be. Fear is self-imposed, meaning it doesn't exist. You create it, you can destroy it too. It's an intangible. If you face your fears, guys, you will realize it's not that big. And once you face it, you go, oh my God, man, I spent all this time running from it. It was so small. If I just faced it, my God, not only did I face it, I beat it back. Energy is never lost, transferred. That negative energy, that fear, is destroyed. It comes back in as confidence. You're like, what else am I capable of? What else am I holding my back from that I'm capable of more? What am I running from I don't need to? What else can I overcome?
Push through tough times, I'm sure, many of them. But as you push through those, you become more. As you become more, something magical happens. You don't just grow. You expand in your spirit and your soul and your capacity and your skill. And all of a sudden, fear becomes less and less a part of you.
Do not reason with weakness. You cannot. You must only take action. Get up and go.
The thing that you'll resent isn't whether or not you make it. The thing that you'll resent is, now that you know you can, will you actually try?
If you find a fear, the quickest, the easiest way you can beat it is initially, right when it comes in. If you allow it to sit, it will grow root and start breaking you down, destroying the potential of the person you can be. Again, the champions, guys, it's not their potential, it's not their genetics. It's their perseverance to always show up, always willing to fail, because in failure, that's part of success. Success is not, a marathon of life with just ups. Success is formulated through failures. Through facing your fears, through falling down and getting back up. That's what creates the champion.
Whatever you've done up to this point, all that it really is a duplication, it's a reproduction of what you believe subconsciously that you deserve and what's possible for your life. Operate out of your imagination, not your memory.
I don't know everything. I have not accomplished everything. I'm not where I want to be. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still trying to get better. You've got to position yourself and stop pouting. Stop crying. Stop looking at what other people are getting and look at what they're doing. And if you start doing it, you'll start getting it. You don't get out of life what you want. You get out of life what you earn.
Stand up. Go forward. Go out in a blaze of glory, fighting with everything you've got, every bead of sweat, every drop of blood until your last breath.
Villain and the hero almost always have a great deal in common. They both have a backstory of pain. You will normally see the villain with some sort of scar on their face or a limp or something that says they've been hurt in the past. The hero has also been hurt. They had a challenging backstory as well. The difference is they responded differently to that pain and suffering. The hero said, I am not going to let this happen to anybody else. I'm going to take the villain down. The villain says, I'm going to seek vengeance against the person who hurt me. I got hurt. I'm going to hurt other people now too. Hero takes the exact same situation and said, well, this just got harder. That's going to make the story a lot better when we conquer this thing.
I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. And I want to share something with you. I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been. But that dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible.
You could be a lot more than you are. You could be so much more than you are that the boundaries of that are unimaginable.
We get hurt, and either we don't want to deal with it because it's too painful, or we don't know how, which I think is often the case. And that hurt, we don't like feeling hurt, but without knowing it, hurt turns into anger. And then anger over time turns into bitterness. It starts to change the way we live.
In your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth, and always feel that your life has ultimate significance.
We can't see the whole story. God is riding with our life. God is riding with our situation. But understand that what you're going through is a chapter in your book. You see right now is the chapter that you're living in, but it's only a chapter. Don't let a chapter of your life define the rest of your life.
Every person who activates your sorrow, anger, frustration, depression, disappointment, rage is actually come into your life, has actually come into your life to teach you love.
Yeah, we all are great. We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great. If you don't think you're great, ask yourself why. Why don't you think the highest of yourself?
Pull yourself together and quit tripping, cause you in the process. God is processing you.
There are winners, there are losers, and there are people who have not discovered how to win.
You know, having faith, you know, that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing is one thing, but you got to believe that this is your destiny and this is what you're supposed to be doing in life, you know, if you really want it. And I think as a human, sometimes you feel like you always got to wait for the right time, what makes sense to you to actually start executing, to actually stop making excuses, to doing the things that you always really wanted to do.
There is fruit inside of your gifts, talents that are inside. There's nutrition that others can receive and bring into themselves because you mature. But the only way to get there is you got to be willing to allow the seeds of your life to be covered by dirt. That means there are going to be people that will speak negative of your name. There'll be things thrown on top of you, hurdles and trials and challenges that you never imagined that you could overcome. But it's the overcoming that makes sure that you're worthwhile.
You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great.
I'll get to it tomorrow. I'm like, who promised you that? Right? I'll get to it a month from now. I'm like, who promised you that? Right? Because life changes so quick, right? And as people, we're often arrogant. I was one of them. We live our lives and we feel as if we're promised something.
You see, you are what you are and where you are because of what's gone into your mind. You can change what you are, you can change where you are by changing what goes into your mind. 98% of the people in our Western civilization have a picture of themselves which is so narrow and so shallow that it literally bears no resemblance to the real person who is there.
Your identity is defined by who you believe you are and who you believe you are not.
Every day, do something that moves you toward that goal, that keeps that goal alive and in sight and in focus. However small or insignificant that step might seem, take it. Do it. Make it happen. Because that goal isn't going to achieve itself. It is all on you.
We all get what we tolerate in ourselves and other people. But when you're no longer willing to tolerate something, that's when your life changes. The difference in people is their standards, period.
Instead of sitting at your desk resisting, imagine if you just redirected some of that energy toward looking for something else. That like the leaves get pushed off a tree, you make a decision that today I am actually going to let go of the gossiping and complaining about this because that is zapping my energy. And I'm going to direct my energy at something positive because once I get rid of that, I got room for something positive to grow.
You will have good days and you'll have bad days, but you will always learn something more or something new, and you will learn more overall on bad days than good days.
People are often afraid of moving forward, and no wonder, but you should be way more afraid of not moving forward. And so if you get that hell behind you, it's like, well, do I want to go there? Well, I don't have the effort or the energy. I'm not even sure that it's the right thing. It's like, well, do I want to go back there? It's like, no, definitely not that. If you don't feel that hell, then you're not nearly as motivated as you could be.
The most important step we'll ever take in life is our next one. A lot of us get our feet stuck in concrete. We get our feet stuck in concrete because we're afraid to make enemies. We're afraid to speak what's on our mind. We're afraid of being in that group of people. And when you walk away, we're afraid of what they might say behind your back. All that fear clouds your brain, clouds your thinking. One thing in life, you're gonna always have haters. Embrace them. If you can walk on water, trust me, your haters will say you can walk on water because you can't swim. Learn one thing, shut the noise out. Embrace the fact that people don't like you. It means you're doing something right. Stay hard, stay in the fight.
The one thing that you have to understand about mental toughness, there is no one thing. You know what? Every time you decided not to take the right path, you know why you didn't do it? Because it was too damn hard. That's why. That's why people don't take the right path. That's why you ask, what's the one thing? Boy, don't we wish it was that simple. There's no one rule to success. There's no one rule to winning. Those rules are endless. Mental toughness is a continuing battle of what's going on in your head.
It's time for you to take your deep dive into the deeper parts of yourself. Uncover the greater parts.
So don't judge your success by the masses, what they think of you. Judge yourself by what God told you to do.
It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And those words, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul, became a mantra for me. What it said is, I am am responsible for the choices that I make in my life.
To the future think for a moment. Future think a year from now. If you kept the things in your life that you're complaining about, the things in your life that keep in pain, the things in your life that are stealing and robbing your peace, how is your life going to be a year from now? Right now, picture your life by just removing those things. Maybe it's one thing, maybe it's two things. Removing those things, how much free is your life going to be?
I think that among the things that prevent us from acting is the fear of failure. And if you've already failed, you don't want to fail again. The pain of that, the disappointment, the fear of loss is another thing. Because many times when we do those things that we know we need to do, we feel that we might lose somebody that we love very much and care about. We don't want to hurt anybody. Many of us don't act because we want other people's approval. We want everybody to like us and to accept us, and that's not possible.
But unless you know three things: number one, who are you and what your value is? Number two, what is your purpose here in life? And number three, what is your destiny when you're done here?
Maybe you need to rename your storm. Yeah, it sucks. But this is going to be sanctified. Yeah, it's hard, but somehow healing's coming out of this. I told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. Can I say it a different way? In this world you will have a storm.
Down moments, and you're going to have them. When that conversation starts talking to you, and it's going to talk to you, what you will do is you can pull that out and read it, and it will build you up. Life will knock you between the eyes. It will catch you on the blind side, come out of nowhere, stuff you can't anticipate.
And so the first thing is the power of choice. Finish this sentence for me. I choose to be blissful rather than blank. I choose to be blissful rather than blank. What would your answer be? One of the emotions I challenge you to experience more of in life is bliss. You know, we are the calibration of maybe the 5 emotions we experience on a regular basis. And so if you're experiencing depression, frustration, worry, fear, anxiety, pain on a regular basis, you're gonna have one life. If you're experiencing bliss and fulfillment and ecstasy and joy in your life and contribution, recognition and significance, if you're experiencing love, you experience those emotions, you have a totally different life. We have the power to choose which emotions we want to experience. Not making a choice is a choice. A non-decision is a decision. If you don't choose consciously to begin to experience the emotions you want, what are the 5 emotions that if you could choose them, you'd experience on a regular basis?